You're watching Minister's Material with Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa.
Need a person in your life that can speak into your life even when things are good, even when things are under control. Have that person, respect the person, honor the person. Even when everything seems to be good, when everything seems to be going on very well, that is the moment that you need an instructor. That's the moment that you need a father in the Lord that can help you so that things do not go wrong. You don't need a father only when things are going wrong. Even when everything is going right, you still need a person who can maintain you in that state so that everything keeps on running very well. Some of you, that's the moment you begin to investigate. You even ask those guys questions. So you guys, you're coming from where? Have you ever met a man by the name Samuel? Because it will be too real for you to believe. So what makes you think that a father like Samuel can arrange people just for you? Who are you? If Samuel can bring together a company of prophets to convince you, an individual, for what? That's the problem now when you begin to think that you are special as a son. That your father can do all these arrangements just to please you and to convince you. For what reason? But because of that, Samuel knew as a prophet that this son is likely going to begin to doubt the prophetic. Let me give him something that is going to happen that cannot be faked. You shall also begin to prophesy. Let's see how you are going to fake that one. And he was forced to do that, not because Samuel really wanted Saul to prophesy. Because I personally believe, when I looked at it, I realized that, okay, this is one of the greatest mistakes that a father did on his son. He shouldn't have made Saul to prophesy. Because Saul is a spiritual son. Though he's a spiritual son, he's not going to be a spiritual person. He's going to be a politician. Right? And as a politician, he's not even supposed to be given rights to enter into the presence of God and inquire from God directly. And because Saul was given that grace to prophesy only once in his lifetime, and that is what made him to fall from grace. Remember, don't forget that when he went, there was a battle that he fought that made him to come down. And God had already given him orders through the voice of the prophet that when you go there, you are going to kill everybody. Don't spare anybody, all the Amalekites, everything that you see that breathes there, you have to kill it. You find that in chapter number 15 of 1 Samuel. And then he spared Agag, the king. And the prophet of God then came and he said, what is this that you have done? And the prophet was so angry. He said, because you have not hearkened to the voice of God. Look at verse number 19. You have not listened to the voice of God. You did not obey the voice of the Lord, but did fly upon the spoil and did this evil in the sight of the Lord. Listen to what Saul is about to say the next verse after that. And Saul said unto Samuel, yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord. I have gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag. And he's calling that the voice of the Lord. And yet Samuel had actually told him to kill everybody. And he spared Agag. And Samuel is coming back and asking, so why didn't you listen to the voice of God? And he said, I have listened to the voice of God and I have spared Agag. You see now, which means after he was given instructions by the authority, by his father, because he also believed himself to be a prophet, as he was fighting, he had this suggestion within his system, and he thought that was the voice of God. And he spared the man that he was supposed to have killed. Sons, listen to me. If you want to become a son, learn to listen. Let me advise you. You should come to a place where you don't even believe in your own dreams, more than you can believe in your father. Am I talking to somebody? How do you deal with a situation like that? You once prophesied, and then to begin to, you know how difficult it is for a prophet to prophesy to another prophet. When you consider yourself to be somebody who also hears from God, how hard it is for a prophet of God to bring instruction to you, because in the way you will also begin to hear what you think it is the voice of God. He's very much sure, I've hearkened to the voice of the Lord and I've spared Agag. How do you deal with such a situation when you now think that this is God speaking to you? And that was the end of his kingdom. Why? Because Samuel himself made Saul to prophesy only once in his lifetime. And it was now difficult for Saul to take instructions again, prophetic instructions, from the same source. But okay, let's talk about what happened. As Saul met this company of prophets, and they were playing some music, good music of course, and he also began to prophesy. I don't know what he was prophesying, but he prophesied. He prophesied. And as he was prophesying, there were certain people there. I would want you to look at verse number 12, 1 Samuel chapter 10. Verse number 12. And one of the same place, I already read this for you. One of the same place, he answered and said, but who is their father? Therefore it became a proverb, is Saul also among the prophets.